Hey Dolphin fans, by Austin Ramos here, bringing you a preview of Sunday's game, the Buffalo Bills at the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins will be hosting it at Hard Rock Stadium, 1 o'clock Eastern Time.
Miami has the Dolphins, the greatest football team.
Before we get into anything about the Dolphins, I just want to show you guys some stats and stuff about the Bills before I jump into anything about the Dolphins. So let's start off with they're on a 2-game winning streak right now. They beat the Jets and then they beat the Jaguars this past Sunday. It was a crazy game between them and the Jaguars. Even a fight broke out and stuff like that. Like 2 players got ejected, and I think both of them are suspended for this week. So maybe Shaq Lawson is suspended for the Dolphins. I mean, not for the Dolphins, for the Bills. When it came to the Jacksonville Jaguars versus Buffalo Bills, even in my game picks, I said how if Josh Allen plays, the Bills are gonna win. Now that's not the case this week. Obviously, they're playing the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins defense is gonna bring it to Josh Allen and the rest of the offense. They have good players like LaShawn McCoy and like Chris Ivory, former Jet player. Just a lot of contributors running wise, because Josh Allen can pick up first downs with his legs. He can. I mean, he had a rushing touchdown and 1 throwing touchdown last week. Now, when it comes to the receivers, they had a player break 94 yards. Robert Foster. I'm not too sure about him. I know Kelvin Benjamin. He's pretty good. He used to play in Carolina Panthers until they dealed him away. And Isaiah McKenzie, pretty much like only a couple names I know on the receiving. But there's a defensive player I for sure know, and that's a former Dolphins player, Jordan Phillips. So far this season with the Bills, like as a Bills player, he hasn't done too hot, but I wouldn't be surprised if for some reason he gets like a sack on Tannehill or something, because it's just something that would happen to the Dolphins, especially after getting rid of a guy mid-season and he signs to a division rival that we have to play twice a year. This is the first game of the 2. As far as the Bills' defense goes, like as a whole, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. They have some key players like Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer. Their linebacker, I believe, Edmonds. I don't remember his first name, but he has like a brother or something as well, and he's on the Pittsburgh Steelers. This guy's a linebacker. He's pretty good, and their defensive line is whatever Cal Williams, I believe. He's an old guy. He's holding a bit to the Bills, and he was questioning retiring last year, but then the Bills went to the playoffs, and he was like, all right, I'll give it 1 more year. Not the type of year he was probably hoping for. That's about it. I mean, they and Jerry Hughes, another edge rusher. They're pretty good on defense, but I believe the Dolphins have the offensive power, even with all these injuries, to kind of overwhelm that defense, honestly. So, a lot of injuries. Kenyon Drake got hurt last game, but he's gonna tough it out. Danny Amendola got hurt. I'm not sure if he's gonna play. They haven't listed him as not playing yet, but he tweaked his knee when like Kenyon Drake tripped, and he fell on Danny Amendola's knee or something like that. So those are things to look out for the Dolphins when it comes to player wise and all that. Before I dive into anything about the Dolphins and what they need to do to win and all this, let me go over what everyone's been talking about for the past week ever since this Colts game, and that was pretty much that last drive when they were like, oh my god, this is such horrible play calling, this and that. Like a bunch of people have been just bashing on Adam Gase for not trusting Tannehill or stuff like that. And let's start off with the first play of the drive. There's 4 minutes and 25 seconds left, right? The Indianapolis Colts just tied it up 24-24. They kick off the ball from the 50 because I think there was a penalty. And then Sonoris Perry takes it out of the end zone for 16 yards, right? But then there's a penalty on Stephon Anthony, linebacker, and he's been mainly playing special teams, for holding. So let's go over the Miami Dolphins' last drive of the Colts game before, they lost the game, pretty much. So the Colts had just scored a touchdown to tie it up at 24-24, right? And then, so they kick off the ball. We take it out of the end zone, Sonoris Perry, running back, special teamer, and then there was a holding or just a penalty, offensive holding on Stephon Anthony, and it took us down to the 6-yard line. And then, I mean, there's not much room there. and you start off with a run with Frank Gore, no gain. Then you have the next drive, Devontae Parker. It was a screen pass, no gain. And then you run a running play with Kenyon Drake. He gains, I think, 4 yards. Yeah, 4th and 6, we end up punting it. And that was with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. Now, there's two things that happen here. The Dolphins were backed up because of a penalty that was just really kind of bogus. And then also, they did not progress the ball forward until 3rd down. And, I mean, Gase's excuse was that he didn't want to get, he's seen Hall of Fame quarterback, a.k.a. Peyton Manning, get sacked there in the end zone for that safety in that exact end zone. So I guess he had like some freaking trauma or whatever. Anyways, you got the ball, 4 minutes, 25 seconds left, right? You finished the drive with 2 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock. Yes, you killed time, but you didn't give yourself enough time to stay in this game. And that really hurt the Dolphins because the next drive, I believe the Colts, and they're kicking their field goal and using up every single second on that clock. Was it horrible play calling? I feel like whatever about it, right? But is it what should have happened? Of course not. I mean, you want to score in every drive. You want to move the ball at least past the 1st down, so it's not a horrible field position. But yeah, just that sequence of events was really upsetting. But it just happens very often to teams, and it's just really scolded because Dolphins fan, person who watches Dolphins, roots for them, talks about them all the time. So that part bothers me. So here are some injuries the Dolphins are dealing with up to date. We have Travis Swanson, he's doubtful. He's an offensive lineman. AJ Derby's questionable. He's been out for a while. Devontae Parker's questionable with his shoulder. And then Danny Amendola is doubtful with his knee injury. Also, Jakeem Grant is moved to injury reserve this week. They didn't move him last week because we probably wouldn't have been able to play Bryce Butler. Even though he didn't make a difference or anything, I mean, you still need that spot open. And we also called up Isaiah Ford, wide receiver. There's always been like this talk about between Leonte Crew and Isaiah Ford so far this season. Those of you who know about the practice squad, you definitely know. But, I mean, they're both young and have potential. With a bunch of these injuries, it's good that we've had them on the practice squad and we had a chance to actually call them up and bring them onto the team. Will they contribute the most? I mean, Leonte Crew had that one catch, but it went for 74 yards or so and a touchdown. So, I mean, everyone's like hyping him up. Oh, Leonte Crew, get him in fantasy. I mean, I'm not saying not to get him, but if it was me, I wouldn't. But because I'm not expecting him to be the main point of this offense, neither Bryce Butler, neither Isaiah Ford. Especially with all this happening this week with Kenny Stills. He made a comment in his post-game, not a post-game presser, but post-practice presser. He was like, I can't throw myself the ball. Because they were asking him, like, how do you feel about being, like, wide open and not getting the targets and all this and that. And he said it, and then after the thing, he came back and he's like, I don't mean it in that way. Like, because people probably took it as he's jabbing at Ryan Tannehill when he's not. He's just saying, like, he's only doing his part of the job, and it's not. I mean, majority is half of the season so far he played with Brock Osweiler, and the other half he's played with Tannehill and plus one more game. So I mean, for this latest part, he hasn't been getting targets that much, and he didn't get targeted that much against the Colts. So I'm pretty sure he's frustrated. I would be frustrated too. Now that rant's over, let's just talk about what the Dolphins can do to win this game. So stopping the run is an obvious reason for the Dolphins. They need to stop Josh Allen. Last game he had like a 99 yards on 13 carries. He's very explosive with his running game. Josh Allen himself. It's funny because he's very similar to Ryan Tannehill. Hear me out. He loves Tannehill. First of all, when he was coming into the league, I mean, he said that Ryan Tannehill was one of his favorite guys. Wears the number 17, obviously, because he started liking it with Ryan Tannehill. He's been wearing it for a while. But he's one of those quarterbacks that he has an arm. He has a cannon. That's the thing he has over Tannehill. But besides that, they're very similar, and they can escape the pocket and get yards like how he did against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who coming into the season everyone thought they were the best defense in the world. So that's why I'm not so worried about the Dolphins' chances because I think the Dolphins' defense is better than the Jacksonville Jaguars. Besides, probably Jacksonville probably has a little bit of a better run defense, but I mean, when you're allowing the quarterback to run 99 yards on you, you're not doing something good. I get it, it's 13 carries, but I mean, you gotta stop him somehow, right? And LaShawn McCoy, shady. I mean, if you guys don't know about him, he's just one of the craziest, fastest backs in the league. He's a little bit past his, not prime, but just like his what he's been good for an amount of time. And also there's Chris Ivory. Chris Ivory's pretty decent. Came from the Jets and all that. But the receivers, I'm not too worried about them. They have Kelvin Benjamin, who really hasn't done much this season. And besides that, like Josh Allen wasn't really able to spread out the ball that much against the Jaguars, and it's just they're not very good offensively, just to put it like that. What worries me is their defense, and so that's number two. The Dolphins need to just do great on offense. You know, put your team in position to win the game. Not have stupid penalties that ruin your whole entire drive, your whole entire game, and just more stuff like that. Ted Larson was a revolving door on Sunday. Everything and anything was going past him, and it was really upsetting just to see that. Also, just get to the quarterback. If you get to the quarterback, Dolphins will win the game. So defensively as well, they need to get to the quarterback, and they need to protect Ryan Tannehill, vice versa. Defensive line needs to do good, and offensive line needs to do good. The game is won in the trenches. It always has been, it always will be. That's why the Dolphins haven't done very well. But the year they went to the playoffs, they had a decent or a better than mediocre offensive line. Plain and simple. And they need to get back to that. And probably hopefully get better. But that will come hopefully in the offseason. Because not much is going on with that currently right now. So Dolphins will be wearing these uniforms, throwback uniforms, on Sunday against the Bills, and then they'll wear it the following week against the Patriots. I like the jerseys, it's pretty cool. So Dolphins will be wearing these jerseys, the throwback jerseys, on Sunday, and they'll be wearing them again the following week against the New England Patriots. And if you're wondering, yes, this is a Green Bay cheesehead. I got it when I went to the Green Bay game, and it was pretty cool, and it was one of those things like that, you can't get it anywhere else without, just being authentic. So, not authentic, but just like, it's from there. So that's why I got it. It's pretty cool. I had it chilling in my room, but decided to bring it out here for the video. That's about it. If you enjoyed the video, give it a nice thumbs up. Let's get the Dolphins win this Sunday, guys. I have the Dolphins winning 31-28, I believe, in my game picks. Now I'm looking at it more and more. This could be a highly defensive game, but what do I know? Anything can happen. And that's about it. Also, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @ByAustinRamos. I've been tweeting out lately some stuff about the Dolphins, and just also vote some players for the Pro Bowl. Players that I would vote for is like Kiko Alonso, Xavier Howard for sure. Give Minkah Fitzpatrick a little bit of love there. Not saying he's totally deserving of the Pro Bowl spot just yet, but he's been playing pretty well. Walt Aikens for special teams. Offensively, wouldn't go too crazy trying to invite someone, vote for someone, but definitely some offensive line players like Juwan James and Laramie Tunsil. They've been having a pretty great season. It's just the interior of our line is just really bad right now, guys. So that's the main issue. So this is all I have for the game preview for you guys today. Let's hope the Dolphins win and go to 500 and just keep on striving for this final playoff spot and stuff like that, and just fight to the last game. Last game is at Buffalo, so getting ready for your last game already.
Miami has the Dolphins, the greatest football team.